All right. Hello, we are at Garden 2, and I'd like you to meet the homeowners and the gardeners, Corrine Freund and Neil Freund, and their daughter. She's going to stroll along with us. Corrine's going to tell us about some of the challenges and some of the things that they just work with in their garden. Go ahead, Corrine.
Yeah, so we have nearly just shy of 2 acres of land here out in the town of West Bend. So it comes with a lot of wildlife that we have to contend with. We try to live with it instead of fighting it because otherwise you'll go kind of crazy. We also have small children. We have 200-pound plus dogs and 19 chickens that free range all day. So we try to do as many things as possible to keep the yard looking beautiful. Here's an example of what we do to keep the dogs out of the annual flowers. Most importantly is we are organic. That means we do not use any pesticides at all. We made that change about, was it 3 or 4 years ago? Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
So that means that all of our weeds are hand pulled.
Oh, wonderful.
Or I do use the mixture of vinegar and Epsom salt and Dawn dish soap in a solo, like a sprayer if it really gets out of control.
Okay.
But otherwise, let's take a walk.
All right.
So as we walk through the garden, it starts off with total shade. I mean, you can't get much more shade in here. But we have a vast variety of hostas and hydrangeas throughout. I like dabbling with color as much as possible, and when it comes to shade plants, there's not necessarily a lot of color. But if you look at these hydrangeas, just the variations of the greens and the tones and the veinings is enough to make what someone would call a boring green plant really stand out and become vivid.
Pops of color with begonias
Yes,
and
that was-
impatiens.
That was the beautiful basket you
The gift
gave,
that
the roots and,
Branches
yes,
gave
from
you.
Roots and Branches. I thought that was a
Yes.
great little spot to add some color.
Well, we have to show our appreciation for all our wonderful garden hosts.
So as you walk through, we do have a number of Japanese maples, and I have those because they are shade loving. There's one tucked over there. There's actually one tucked up front. You can't really see, the hydrangeas have taken over its height. But there's also one fern leaf Japanese maple right there.
Okay.
And it's great because the dark purple tones really, once they get larger, will again pop against.
Accent, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. I'd say as we get to this point, the garden transitions a little bit. We have, as you can see, a slight opening above us, so I can actually plant some more sun-loving plants. The Ligularia right here I absolutely love. It's the rocket variety. After this event later in the season, it's going to have yellow rockets shooting out of the top, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Another favorite item we have here is the tulip tree. You don't see them in a lot of yards. They grow up to like 100 feet tall, but I'm going to sneak in here just to show this off a bit. But if you look at it, people already also call it the frogfoot tree because it looks like frog feet upside down. But the tulip tree does have big yellow flowers that look just like a tulip too.
And
it
when
is
does that
mature.
bloom?
When it's mature, and it blooms in spring.
Oh, when it's mature.
Yeah.
It's sure cooler down here. It must be 15 degrees cooler in
Yes.
this nice shade.
We're in a bit of a gully too, here in the Kettle Moraine, and yeah, it's fully shaded. We don't get much wind either. It just kind of all goes above us. We're really in a protected little climate. So as you tour all the other gardens, you may see things that are in full bloom where mine haven't even started, correct. I'm always a couple weeks behind. So the turf is 100% my husband. He loves his lawn. He fertilizes pretty regularly, about every month, and then we have a nice little irrigation system that he popped in to keep it going nice and green. Problem out here is our soil is mostly sand.
Okay.
And so we found out if we don't water, it died, and we have to slit seed and everything else, and that becomes extremely expensive. So we do, to get the green lawn, we do water frequently.
Neil, you do a good job. It's really lush on my feet, that's for sure. And do you do a lot of entertaining or just enjoying your deck yourselves?
We do. We do
do?
entertain quite a bit. When you have a deck that size, it's really hard not to entertain.
The neighbors say, come on over. and-
Yeah. Neighbors and a lot of my children's friends too
Yeah.
will come over because we have such a nice playground and a lot of room to run and
Do you help Mom with the flowers? You do?
Sometimes.
Sometimes. Good. Another future gardener.
right. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you guys for hosting your garden and the tour. Hope for no rain.
I know. I heard there's a possibility, but scattered, right? Scattered.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, thank you again.
yeah. Well, thank you.
This is Robin O'Neill, and her husband John is not here, but this is their property, and she's going to show us some of the highlights of her garden. Robin, what would you say is behind us here? This is one of your highlights?
Yes, this is our waterfall that we built. It was kind of in the making of 3 years. We have a real problem in our yard. Our yard is actually on an old landfill. So as you're digging, you're getting car parts coming up, lots of glass coming up, nothing, the soil is really bad. So when we started having problems where we couldn't get stuff to grow, we had a big dirt pile at the bottom of our hill and we hauled it up here and we decided to make a waterfall.
Yeah, they've done a lot of work. This kind of looks like we're in Tarzan's neighborhood here, where I feel like we're in a tree house. Do you want to carry on and show us the next spot?
This was the original patio that we had, the first original deck. And then as we started going along and building the waterfall in the river, we decided to add a bridge that's behind you. And we pulled the deck, the second deck, we pulled that over from the neighbor's yard. We brought that one over and constructed that one over here too.
That's right. I think you told me you don't waste anything. You reuse.
We've used everything from the neighborhood, from the yard, everything, all the rocks, everything came from either recycled from everywhere.
That's wonderful.
And then we built the pond so that we could have the pond underneath the bridge.
All right. Robin, I see you have quite a few stairs here. They're all very nice, very safe stairs.
Yes, what the stairs, our big problem with the stairs was this was a horrible, horrible hill. There was no grass on it. It was just dirt. Every time it rained, it completely flooded our backyard. Wow. So we had to go in here and clean it all up, and that's where we put in the stairs. And the only thing we could get to grow here were the hostas. So hostas all got dragged home from my mom's house and got them all planted in here. And finally, our house isn't flooding anymore.
I don't see any brown on them. They do seem to get some sun too, so that's pretty good. You must keep them well watered.
Yes, I do water them quite a bit. I water them to keep them looking nice.
And you have some beautiful, beautiful artwork and hanging baskets on that fence.
Yes, if we were gonna put a fence up, which I didn't want the fence, but if we were gonna put it up, I wanted a basket on each one of the posts.
You didn't want the fence?
No, that was our compromise, was the flower pots.
I'd like to introduce you to the homeowners of Garden 4 that are on the Roots and Branches tour. We have Wendy Kempf and her husband Dale. Wendy, do both of you share in their gardening, or how does that work?
Well, I do all the planning and all buying, and he digs all the big holes for me, and I do the little holes, but he helps me move things around because I'm constantly changing things, so I need his help.
Chopping some roots.
Yeah.
Chopping roots of trees, or
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Yeah, and I imagine you take care of the lawn,
Yeah, pretty much.
or do you share in that
No,
as well?
I've never mowed lawn in my life, and
That
I don't.
finally came through pretty well this year.
Yeah.
All right, well, would you like to give us a little tour of your yard?
All right.
You have some beautiful hydrangea vines.
Well, yeah, these are climbing hydrangeas. Dale's always worried that they're getting in the way of the garage doors, but that's how they grow. In my front yard, I have all white perennials, so it's kind of fun to always be on the lookout for new plants. And you can tell I love boxwoods and hydrangeas, and hostas are my favorite plants, so I've got a lot of those.
You must have a lot of shade then to
Yeah, I love the
incorporate
shade
the
plants. Yeah, those are my favorites. And so this is all still all white. I have all white flowers and white bushes all until we go through the arch, then we change.
Yeah, we thought of you when we gave you a gift of a hanging
Yeah,
basket.
yeah.
We made sure we picked the
I
white
know,
one.
I thought, pink.
No,
I'm not a pink person, so that was good. So now when we go through our arch, now I can have yellow and white plants back here.
beautiful Hakone Cloa grass.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. I keep trying to divide it because I love that.
And that's even yellow, isn't it?
Yep, and I like to find, you know, kind of chartreuse and yellow colors just to make it pop more in the green.
What do you do for nature? Do you try to attract it or try to get rid of it if it's deer that are eating
Yeah,
your
you can
hostas?
tell where we live, there are a lot of deer, so I'm constantly trying to get, and this year wasn't bad though.
Mouse and squirrels digging up the yard.
This year was not a bad deer year. I was very happy about that. And I'm trying to block off the yard so they can't get in.
Do you have any, so the challenges are the deer basically
Yeah.
and the rodents?
A little bit, rabbits a little bit, but we have a hawk around now and that really got rid of the population.
Do you have
a lot.
favorite, well you said your favorite plants were hostas.
Yeah, hostas, hydrangeas, boxwoods. I love boxwoods. I just like the green color in the winter, and I love ligularias.
Is this hobby inherited?
No, we built our house 38 years ago, and the only plant I knew was a daisy. I didn't even know what a hosta was. So this is what
It
happened.
looks like you've learned quite a
I
bit.
learned a lot.
She developed this therapy.
Yeah,
Working in the
yeah,
garden.
it's a therapy.
You have some beautiful sitting areas, a
Yeah.
nice big deck and a,
And I sit in my screen porch the most. I said that is the best, my favorite place to sit. And I have a swing on the front porch. I sit there a lot. And all of the structures in the yard I thought about, and Dale builds for me. So everything you see, he has built. Yeah.
so what other plants are in here that you can show us?
I love daisies, and some daylilies. The coreopsis is always pretty at this time of year.
I imagine it's rather hard to go through the greenhouses and only
Oh,
pick out
yes.
certain colors.
Yeah.
I don't know how
This originally we built for grapes, but that didn't work out. And then we used to hang a hammock in here. We still have it, but we kind of haven't done that in a few years. So that's my first year trying zinnias, and they turned out well. So like you can see, I got a lot of ligularia in
Yeah,
here. a lot
lots
them.
of shade plants.
Yeah. We used to have a tree right back there, and we just cut it down 2 years ago, so it was shadier. So it's, I'm surprised.
And they're
that-
still doing okay?
yeah, I am surprised because that makes this a very sunny corner for the shade plants I have.
Those variegated leaves on that.
That's it's either called a called a meadowsweet or a queen of the meadow. I guess it can be called either. Yeah, that's one of my absolute
Yeah.
favorite plants. Yeah, I love that plant.
I've been here 3 times and every time you
You
see
see a new one.
something different.
Dale built my shed for me, which I love having all my tools in one spot.
And who's this fellow?
Well, yeah, he doesn't have a name. When Dale's mother passed away, we had money left over, and that's what I bought for
Nice momentum.
remembrance. Yeah,
each of us.
I love that. That's very pretty. This garden I call it my German garden because we went to Germany and all the yards were just so tiny and they just had cute little tiny little gardens. So we always call this my German garden.
This was the size of their
Yeah.
backyards.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, those poor people.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they were beautiful.
Yeah.
It was very nice. Yeah.
And this is very interesting too. I've seen this before. This is really, tell us what you do with these
I
hostas.
keep them in this pot and I put them in the shed over winter and bring them back out and they just keep coming back year after year. So that's saves a lot of money. And I got this at a flea market, so it's just a perfect size for that.
I'd like to thank you ahead of time for being on the
Well,
tour
thank you.
this year. It's been fun.
It was good to get us. It makes us do a little extra that I would normally have not
Yeah.
done.
Get some projects done.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
The honey-do list.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's about it.
All right, thank you.
All right. Thank
Sure,
you.
thank-
Hi, I'd like to introduce you to the host of the #1 garden. She's #1 in the line, Chris McConaughey. And McConaughey, that name is a hard one for me. I'm so sorry for that. She has a beautiful yard. There's not a blade of grass out of place. I don't see a weed, even though she claims there are some. I'm going to let her tell you about some of the highlights, and I'm going to ask her first about these beautiful beech trees she has in her yard. Chris, you want to talk about those?
These beech trees, and actually I have 3 of them. are only 10 years old, but they just took off like lightning. I don't know, and everybody expresses so much joy over them. I actually purchased them at Menards
Yeah,
10 years ago,
they're nice.
and they're just beautiful.
They
I
are,
have
they
a
love
couple, one on the side and one in the back.
it. You were telling me you have a nice feature here with the driftwood.
My brother gave me some driftwood, and I love to do succulents, but it's pretty hard to have the succulents outside here. But I brought a couple features here, and I have some in the back that I like.
Well, right now it's a hot, sunny spot.
Yeah, it's
so
perfect.
I, would think
I
they do
covered them
okay.
up last night for the rain and the wind.
And I see you have milkweed plants. Chris says if the monarchs want to come, they're welcome.
You can have any monarch, any butterfly, any bird, but I don't do anything really special to attract them. But whatever I plant, I plant.
Well, let's see what you got in the backyard.
So the theme of my garden is portraits of His glory, and so I featured some of my favorite flowers with portraits or frames, and I have an easel over there we can look at. But I love my coneflowers, and I'm sorry they're just not blooming yet.
Well, you got a few more days.
Yeah, a few more days coming, but hopefully they'll burst through that frame. I have my roses over there framed. This purple one just shows off these purple flowers, I think, so pretty.
It does.
But every leaf, every flower, every branch is God's majesty, so He did it all, I didn't. And then I have another little succulent feature here that I like.
Very nice. Do you have holes for drainage
Yeah.
in there?
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I searched forever for that stump, and I really wanted a root, but I couldn't find the root, so I got that. So I built the house in 2013, 2014, and this berm was actually here. We excavated a little bit of the topsoil off to put in the lawn, but then the excavator set all these big, huge Lannon stones in there, and so that's where it started from. And started planting most of the bushes and perennials, and then we went from there.
Very nice. Did you have a lot of rock in there, or what? was the
Not
ground
really,
pretty
it's
good?
clay. It's a lot of
clay?
clay, but that holds moisture too, so.
Yeah, work with what you have.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. And then your favorite sitting area is over here?
Yep, I just
Shall we
come
take
over
a stroll?
here, and
Check it out.
I could sit here all day with the birds chirping.
Oh, yes. Where's the lemonade?
Oh yeah, I'll have to put my tables here, but I usually sit out here in the morning with my coffee.
Well, thank you, Chris, for allowing us to come into your garden and have the tour here. We really appreciate it.
It was my pleasure.
All right, I'd like to introduce you to Arlene Pirog. She's going to be garden number 6 in the tour, and it took a few years to convince her to be in the tour, but I think her daughter did some convincing.
She did.
Yeah. Have you been gardening for a long time, Arlene?
As long as I'm here, and then before out on the farm, when we lived on a farm, I did too.
So that's been many years.
Yes, many a years.
So I know we'll tour her backyard in a little bit, and there's not a blade of grass out of place here. That's
Don't
for-
say that.
Well, there's not. You can live up to that because there's not. Would you like to give us a tour, Arlene?
Sure.
And show us, well, show us some of your favorite plants or some of your favorite features of your yard.
My waterfall.
Okay, well, let's go. Yeah, you have some beautiful plants up in the front here, the window boxes.
And these I had to plant all new this year. They all died from last year.
Oh, Coreopsis.
Yep,
Oh, what is this beautiful thing here?
that's Washira.
What is this? Trumpet vine?
No, Washira.
Wisteria?
Wisteria, yeah.
Okay.
It's the first time it bloomed this year.
Oh,
It had real pretty long blue blossoms.
yeah.
Yeah, that was really pretty.
Nice. And this is always a showpiece, these plants.
These are my castor beans.
Castor beans?
Uh-huh. My waterfall. It sounds so pretty at night when there isn't any traffic.
Yeah. Do you have
Uh-huh.
any fish in there?
We bought 20 of them, but I can't find them.
You did, this year?
Yeah, we just put them in there.
Oh my gosh. Oh,
They
there
were-
was one.
Real little. They're
See
real
'em?
little.
He's over there. Oh, yeah.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, there's another. There
Oh,
he
yeah.
is. Oh, everything's so lush here, huh? Did your mother garden?
No,
No, you were the start of the generation that
Yeah,
gardens?
she didn't garden. Well, vegetables. Vegetable garden.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. This is really nice.
Yeah, that's one of those tropical ones. But
Yeah, are you going to try to overwinter it?
yeah, I'm gonna try.
Are
I
ya?
don't know. Yeah, these I got from my girlfriend's neighbor. I can't. We don't have a mark
Oh,
yet.
you got some.
And I see got milkweeds.
Yeah, there's a hole in there. Do you got any caterpillars?
I don't know.
I
They
don't-
never came up, but look at that. Didn't do good this year. I don't know why.
This is a nice way to spruce up this little alleyway here, huh? Do you try to overwinter this as a house plant?
My daughter got that from Dodgeland. They planted those in the.
Try to take it in the house because they grow pretty easy.
I never seen one in a hanging basket for outside. Did you?
I do because I planted some myself.
Do you?
Yeah. And you used to have a, what did you used to have in the corner?
Dinner plate.
A dinner plate hibiscus, right? No, it was hiding back there, huh?
No, it was right where
Oh,
that
right
one.
there.
I planted
Oh,
a
you
different
have
one.
another one, though?
Yeah, a
Brand
different
new?
one.
Well, don't feel bad. Mine didn't come back either.
And my bleeding hearts were just beautiful this year.
They look like it. They
But I
look
mean,
good
they're
shape.
done now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then they get a little yellow and die
Yeah.
back, don't they?
I've been watering so they stay green for the
Yeah.
tour.
How often do you sit on your little patio? Do you eat supper out here?
In the morning.
In the mornings, your best time?
Yep. And you can't sit on the front porch in the mornings. It's so hot.
Oh,
But in the morning, it's really nice. In the afternoon, it gets really hot back here.
yeah. Well, thank you
Okay.
for being in the tour
Sure.
this year, Arlene. I'm glad we finally got you
I
in
think
there.
everybody kind of liked the garden, even if it was small. It only
Oh,
took
yeah.
them 5 minutes to look at.
Well, it started to rain too,
Yeah.
you know, but it shows what people can do in a small space. Not everybody's got a big country yard like
Yeah.
like some.
No kidding.
So, all right. Well,
All
thank
right.
you again.
Sure.
Hello again. I'd like to introduce you to our next garden host and hostess, Zana Crow and Robert Deal, her husband Robert. And Zana's more of the gardener, I take it, right, Robert? No? I mean, do you share?
We
in the-
share.
You share? Well,
Bob is the designer,
oh,
and he creates the beds, and I fill them up with plants,
And then I take care
and
of
then he
it.
takes care of them.
oh, well, sounds like you have it made, Zana. I'm going to come along with you and buy plants. Well, we'd like to see some of the beautiful features of your yard. I can hear some doves over there in the corner. Want to take us over there and show us?
Sure. And so this is my pair of doves. I love birds, and they stay out here during the day in the summertime, and then they go into a protected area in the evening. That's one of my favorite fuchsias. That's a very old variety. It's called Gartenmeister, but I seek this out every year because it's one of my very favorite plants, and the hummingbirds like it.
Well, let's sweep around here, shall we? And
Okay,
Tell me
I do
what
want
else.
to mention this wonderful plant. This is a tiger eye sumac, and it's a relative of our native staghorn sumac, but it has the very divided golden yellow foliage and the attractive fruit, and it's a plant that I just think is really beautiful. It does spread quite a bit, so this way that we have it positioned with the brick patio all around to control the root spread works really nicely.
Oh, nice.
It looks a little bit like Queen Anne's lace, but it is not. Queen Anne's lace is a biennial. This is a true perennial. It doesn't have a common name. It's called Selenum carvifolium. And it was grown from seed from a European seed company, Gelito. And so it's not something that's available in the trade in this country, but it's a really lovely plant. And the daylilies are in full bloom. The daylily is the West Bend official city flower.
Yes.
And the beautiful Labyrinth Garden at Regner Park is a designated official American Daylily Society display garden. So anyone who's interested in daylilies should definitely visit the. So again, like that Selenum carvifolium, which has no easy common name, this is Indigofera kirillowii. has no common name, but it's a great textural plant. The flowers are pretty, but they're a little bit hidden underneath the foliage.
Yeah.
But it's still just for the novelty of having something different.
It is interesting.
This, I'd like to point out this plant too. I love this plant. This is an Amsonia. They're called Blue Star. They aren't really blue. It's more like a blue-gray, the flower. The regular one, which is Amsonia tabernae montana, is called Willow Leaf Blue Star. It has a willow-like leaf. And then there's a thread leaf one that's from Arkansas. So this is a cross between the two. And so it's called Halfway to Arkansas. There's another one called Midway to Montana. And it's got the beautiful form of the willow leaf one, but it's got that thread-like foliage. This turns a spectacular orange, yellow, and purple in the fall.
Wow,
It is
sounds
a
great.
beautiful foliage plant. Not so much for the flowers, but for the foliage.
Really nice.
So this is our silo, and it looked very stark because it wasn't one of those pretty stone or tile silos. It was just cement. So we wanted to cover it, and initially we put Virginia creeper on it, but then I thought I'd start a climbing hydrangea, and climbing hydrangeas are very, very slow to start. So I planted it at the base of there, and then it waited probably close to 5 years, and then it takes off.
So you're trying to tell me that's only one?
That's one plant.
My
Yeah.
God.
So when people want to, one thing about climbing hydrangea is one of the few vines that will grow in the shade. And so people are oftentimes wanting to put it on a trellis in the shade. It's not suitable for that. It's a woody vine. It has big, woody stems. It hangs onto the surface, and it gets very large. So
Is there any maintenance involved from year to year?
the only problem that we have had with it is in the years when we have bad Japanese beetles, and that's very touch and go. Sometimes you get them, sometimes you don't. They love this plant.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Oh.
But other than that, no.
Other than that, it just comes back
Yep.
to life. It doesn't
Yep.
need cutting down.
No maintenance. It has beautiful fall color to it. Turns gold in the fall. But again, just kind of the fun novelty of it. And it camouflages the silo. We've been part of the garden tour twice before, going back many, many, many years. So the first year we were part of the garden tour, the silo was still looking very much like a cement silo. And by the second time we were on the garden tour, it had become covered like this. And there was a woman wandering around the garden who had been to the first tour, and she said, I could swear I've been in this garden before, but didn't you used to have a silo? Because it really, camouflages it. Yeah.
I love this pot over here with the canary wings begonia.
I love that begonia. So as you can probably tell from looking at the gardens, I love yellow leaf foliage plants.
Okay.
And what they really do is they light up a shaded garden. They almost look illuminated. So I love yellow foliage plants. So this is one of my favorite begonias. All of these dragon wing begonias are very robust growers.
Yes.
So again, that was a 4-inch. That was a 4-inch pot.
Yeah.
They really go.
Yeah.
And this one gives. Red is not my favorite flower color, but I love the foliage color so much on
Yeah.
this. And Annabelle hydrangeas, I just want to mention Annabelle hydrangeas because there are so many different kinds of hydrangeas, and I think people are kind of prejudiced against this good old-fashioned Annabelle, and they want to go for all those colors. And a lot of the blooming ones, which are the blue and pink, are a different species, and they're actually better suited to growing in the south. So they don't really bloom reliably here, whereas you're always going to get beautiful performance out of this plant. And it grows in sun or shade, and it just looks like this all the time. It's such a great plant. So at one time, that is a Japanese tree lilac. So it is a cousin of the shrub lilacs, but it's a different species. So I used to do some daylily hybridizing. So at one time I did have over 300 daylilies in the garden. We do have a lot less now, but a lot of these sort of beautiful specialty ones were. I have a number. I'm in the Daylily Society, so I have a number of friends that are hybridizers. So these have been gifts from people that are creating their own beautiful flowers. Nice. And this one is named after my dear friend Harold Steen. And you see with all the lilies and daylilies here, we do, just like everybody else, struggle with deer. Oh. So I have been spraying, leading up to the garden tour, at least once a week with deer repellent, sometimes more often. This is a fun willow. This is what's called the sage leaf willow, and it has this sage-like leaf with this silvery color to it. A really, really nice landscape plant. It doesn't get large. It only maxes out at about 4 to 5 feet. So here you see all the daylilies. I mean, all the different colors they've been working on getting, these beautiful blues and purples. They grow so beyond the orange and yellow that people traditionally think of with daylilies, and breeding in to get these really ruffly edges like you see on these. I just think that's so, they call that a pie crust edge. And these ones where you get the secondary color, the color from the throat coming around the rim of the flower.
Very nice.
Just love them.
Well, Donna, it all looks marvelous, and I think you're going to have a successful tour, or we are going to have a successful
I hope so.
tour.
It's starting to rain now,
It is.
so let's hope
Which
that
is good.
it gets it out of its system before Saturday.
Well, I want to thank you, too, for being in the tour ahead of the time here, and thanks for the wonderful pre-tour.
Okay, thank you for visiting.